暖心力量，温暖前行。
Hello everyone and welcome to Soothing Moments. As a child, I often wondered, to become a pilot, you probably have to be super smart or have perfect vision. Then as I grew up, I realized that this job actually requires a lot of dedication and also discipline. So today on Soothing Moments, guess who we're going to have as our guest? A real pilot. But before we meet our guest, let us have a look at this video.
Air 213, heavy contact departure, 12634, good day.
And now 15,100, heading to 0. By the fans be seated at this time for landing in about 1 minute. Thank
you. So, we would like to introduce our special guest today, Captain Joey Leong from Air Asia X. Hello, Captain. So good to have you on our Soothing Moments show today.
Oh, really, it's my honor and privilege to be a invited guest to be in this Soothing Moments.
Wow, yes. Yeah. I understand that you have been flying for a very long time. How long is that?
Oh, since back from the Flying Academy, I think joined the airlines in 1994. So till now, it's like 26 years.
26 years. Wow, is that your first job and only job?
Yes.
Wow.
First job till now.
Wow, that's wonderful. And have you always wanted to fly as a kid?
No, not really. Definitely not. Basically, for me, it's by chance.
I see. Oh, you mean it's not your ambition to be a pilot?
No.
So what happened?
How
did you get into this line?
Since young, basically, I wanted to become to be in the business line. But then, sadly, during the economic downturn, which is in 1993 was the first mild one. My dad wouldn't have enough funds for me to go to further my education in a degree.
Right.
So at the same time, so lucky enough, one of my classmates' dad is a pilot.
Right.
So he says, "Hey, why don't you try to just try out whether to apply for the scholarship from Malaysia Airlines." That's how I got the chance to can
I see.
And because why piloting never come to my mind, because first of all, I was afraid of heights.
You were afraid of heights?
Scared of heights. And then I have not been on board the aircraft before.
Right. But you see, you were afraid of heights, but then you chose a job, a training that will require you to fly so high. So what happened? How do you overcome this?
When I went to apply for the cadetship, luckily I got through.
Right.
And was sent to the Malaysia Flying Academy in Malacca. And during that time, we do ground school first.
Right.
Then after that, the first flight, it was tense. The first, we call it the familiarization flight.
Okay.
Where the instructor will take us up into the air. Then a few of us sit there.
Were you nervous?
Yes, tense. So I was just looking inside. Okay, slowly, peep out. Okay, looking at all those small houses, it's just like, and then you see all the models there.
Houses.
Model houses. Hey, not so bad. Then luckily I said, thank God. I say, because I say in my heart, I say, please, don't give me any problem, because if not, I'll be kicked out. Then I go back, I don't know what I'm going to be.
Right. So it's you actually had to overcome your fear by just facing it straight on.
Yes, because always since young, because I'm not from a rich family, so I know since young, we can't always buy what we wanted. So my motto in life that I created for myself is, we cannot always do what we want, but we can always like what we do.
Right. So throughout your flying career, 26 years, right? Do you have any unforgettable incidents or event that happened?
That was when I was still a co-pilot. The flight was from KL to Beijing. So during while cruising, as we are passing through the Hong Kong airspace, the in-flight supervisor, which is the manager that in charge of all the cabin crew in the cabin, he came to the cockpit and tell the captain, say, Captain, there's a passenger that had difficulty in breathing and are complaining abdominal pain. So now we are already moved her to the business class and administer oxygen. I'll get back to you later on further progress.
Okay.
So he paged for doctor, there's no doctor.
Page for doctors
On board. Doctors
Whoever,
or any medical
I
personnel
see.
on board. There's none. Then he came back and told us, Captain, the passengers look very pale. You better come and have a look. So, as normal, because captain is the leader of the ship, leader of the plane. So, as a co-pilot, we go and have a look first to assess the condition. So when I see, first time in my life, I also saw the face, the complexion of the person. It is so pale. Basically, the lips are dark. I say, wow. In my heart, I say, please don't die. So I get back in, I told the captain, say, yeah, it is like very bad situation. I say, Captain, you want to have a look, you can go ahead. So he went and have a look. So at that time, as we're getting approached to Hong Kong, so I got the weather just to prepare for a diversion, medical emergency diversion. So I was taking down the weather because before we want to go to airport, we want to make sure, first thing, the weather is good. Because if it's emergency, we wouldn't want to have extra workload to face the weather. So check the Hong Kong weather was good. While I was writing down, my hand couldn't stop shivering. I said, hey, what is this? Is it the aircon man blowing in my hand? Is it very cold or what? But in my heart, I keep saying, please don't die. So I tell myself, hey, I need to calm myself down. I need to calm myself down. I switch on the aircon, off the aircon fan. Okay, calm myself down. Okay, then I plan everything. Then when the captain opened the cockpit door, say, okay, divert. Then he closed back the cockpit door. Then, okay, I plan everything, make the radio call, request for medical emergencies, told they say that we require an ambulance on ground, inform the company that we are diverting, and plan all these things. Then all the way descend, then the captain came back in and sat down. After landed, ambulance, everything was very professional. Ambulance was on standby already. Straight away, medical first aid was given, and then the baggage of the passenger been removed from the aircraft itself. That's for safety regulations. So actually after that we refueled and we got our flight plan, new approval to continue our journey back to Beijing.
I mean, it was a short time. How much time between when you started, to get the news about the sick person on board and then landing? How much time is?
Actually, I think it's less than half an hour.
Less than half an hour. You have to make a lot of decisions.
Yes, because we want to do it fast also. Because a person's life is at stake. We want to land as soon as possible. And all this we need to work hand in hand with the air traffic controller as well. Because when we declare medical emergencies, then the air traffic controller will divert the rest of the planes away and will give us priority landing. Tell us that, okay, you'll be number one. Okay, you fly here, direct track to go down there. First, definitely, it is like first time for me as a young pilot. All these things happen, and I say, I don't want people to, please don't die on board my flight. But thank God, luckily, everything was okay. And was sent to the hospital.
Right. Now, usually when the plane is trying to dock, right, or docking you call it, right, that is a person I noticed that actually does, they hold these batons and they start to give all sort of hand signs.
Yes.
Okay, and I understand now that is called marshalling signals. And I understand today you are actually going to do a demo for us as far as marshalling is concerned.
Yes.
You have also brought your baton here.
Yes.
Okay, can you show us how it's done?
Yep, so this is the marshalling baton.
Okay.
Okay, basically is to guide the aircraft, or basically guide the pilots where to come, when to stop, and how fast to go. So basically, the first one, you have to raise up to show that this is the parking spot.
Right.
Then after that, ask them to come forward.
Come forward.
Forward. Okay. So when they are off the center line, we tell them to turn left. Okay, this is the left a bit. So once they're all right, back to the center line, then we'll come forward. Or if they go to the right too far, out, then we ask them to turn the other way. Or this is to slow down.
Slowing down.
Slowly, slowing down, and stop. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Then on top of these marshalling signals, we also, during heavy thunderstorm and rain, we need to communicate with the ground engineer as well.
Right.
Before we starting the aircraft, because normally we use headsets. The ground engineer will use headsets.
Right.
Because of heavy thunderstorm, the risk of lightning might cause the lightning strike all this, so they do not use headsets, but instead use hand signals. So hand signals like park brake on. This is the park brake on.
Right.
Release your park brake. Okay. To start engine 1, which is always the left engine. Start engine 2. Here to start 2. Okay. Or when there's emergency, when the ground engineer say, oh, there's fire on the engine, say 1. This
That's
is sign of fire. Or ask you to shut down engine. Engine 1, shut down. Basically, all these are the safety measures they put in during different environments.
Right.
When there's the automation breaks down.
Yes, that's when you need a human touch.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you so much for showing us. Thank you so much, Captain. Okay, now I have some more questions on the passenger part. Now, during flight, I always notice, right, a lot of people, the moment the plane, what do you call it, fly off, take off, but sometimes when the seatbelt light is still red, you're not supposed to take it off. But many people feel that, hey, the plane has already taken off, it's actually stable. You know, what is the point of putting on? It's so uncomfortable. Why can't we take it off? Also is, after landing, why do we need to wait for so long while the plane is taxiing, you know, before we can remove the seatbelts? Because I notice this is what happens whenever I take a flight.
Basically, we are flying in the air, okay? Clouds we can see, for pilots, we can avoid. Clouds is turbulent. But there's another turbulence that we can't see. It's called the clear air turbulence. Clear air turbulence basically is a parcel of unstable air. Okay? You just imagine the speed that we fly, close to 700 kilometers an hour. So imagine if those air hit the aircraft, it will create that. So even though with the seatbelt signs off, you should put it on.
That reminds me of one of my flights, yeah? I think it hit an air, now that you mentioned, it's probably hit an air pocket. And we flipped, and I was sitting in the back of the aircraft. We flipped so high, and my food tray flew up to the ceiling.
That's why you're very lucky. Your food tray, it can be even worse. The whole person may just flip and hit the ceiling.
Thank God I had my
seatbelts on. Same thing when on ground. Okay?
Yeah. So when you're taxiing. Okay.
Yes, when we are taxiing.
Again.
Okay. We still have like those rural airports. We can see like in Philippines, those small airports, you can see stray dogs, stray animals crossing.
Oh, at the runway.
Runway or on the taxiway.
Right.
So sometimes you don't know what suddenly comes in front of you. We need to
avoid.
press on the brakes. We cannot go like a car. I go left, I go right. No, because the taxiway is this big.
Correct,
Anything out, we might overrun to the grass. So we need to step on the brakes. If the seatbelt is off, and a lot of people they are so eager to get their bags out from the overhead compartment.
Right.
So just imagine if you leave the overhead compartment out, when you step the brakes, things will fall. When you fall, you hit the other passengers on the head, injury will cause.
Right. As a pilot, I would think that the cockpit is like your office. Or sometimes maybe it's even your home because you spend so many hours in it. Yeah, but some people's office are in buildings, but yet yours is in the skies.
every flight basically is different, even though we go back to the same destination. There's one scene, very unforgettable scene, very beautiful, is the break of dawn. I think that time when I was flying to Australia, where I can see the break of dawn, the skyline, a little star, a small star, and then a little bit of the moon. It felt so peaceful, so serene, and it's so beautiful. You see how Mother Nature is.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you can see the full moon, the stars, and when the time there's a meteor shower.
Meteor showers too?
Yes. Sometimes we don't appreciate things that are closest to us.
Right.
When we're far away, when we see things from afar, we get to appreciate more.
That's true. From appreciating the beauty of nature from the skies, Captain Joey also appreciates and preserves the beauty of nature on the ground. Let us have a look at what he does.
The Jalutan City Recycling Station is having a makeover, adding new vitality to the community.
Actually setting up an education center. So we hope to bring in the residents in Bukit Jelutong, to educate them how to handle recycle resources,
As the volunteers renovate the recycling station, they pay attention to details, hoping to raise the residents' environmental awareness.
Currently, we are making some props to educate the public on awareness on one-time use plastic and how plastic pollutions come about.
The recycling volunteers, both young and old, work together to renovate the place, turning the useless resources into useful items.
I stuff things in the bottles so when it is used to make benches, it won't break. If it is hollow, it will be broken. I come to do some recycling and some meaningful deeds. As we see these recycled materials, we will think about protecting the earth, raising our environmental awareness.
Oh, so you also take care of the environment by doing recycle?
Yes.
You're a recycling volunteer with
Yes.
Tzu Chi.
Yes, I'm one of the recycle volunteer because there's a recycle center very
Right.
close by my house. It's a five minutes drive
I see.
in Bukit Jelutong.
Okay, just now this was mentioned that single-use plastic is a really big problem. And I also noticed that in the airlines nowadays, most of the times, single-use plastic is being used.
When we look back, actually, airline does contribute a lot of waste now, especially single-use plastics. When serving meals,
Right.
drinks, water, everything is
little
little
containers.
containers, and all these are only used once.
Are
Just
they
men-
recycled?
Those days, I don't think so. But because of awareness has grown, and people talking about preserving Mother Nature, taking care of environment, I think some of the airlines has started doing some initiatives. Like for Asia, low-cost airlines are not as bad in wastage because passengers have to pay for what they want,
Right.
and there's no welcome drink or this, so
Correct.
there's less. And how Asia does the initiative of doing their own recycling is they do collect they separate out the one-time use plastics
Right.
from after meal and the normal waste. So basically, these are some of the initiatives they do.
Right, I recall they come along the aisle with a green color bag,
Yes,
right?
yes.
To separate. Oh, okay.
Correct. And also some airlines I see that they also use recycled material for their blankets. The same like Tzu Chi, where they use the recycled PET bottles to
Right.
make
Eco
blankets, eco blankets.
That's right. Now, I also understand that in this business of flying, it's actually very dependent upon the economical situation in the world and also the global stability. And this year itself, I guess many borders has been closed, many restrictions on movements, and have affected a lot of airlines. Captain Joey, are you affected by this pandemic in that sense?
Yes, affected in the sense that my last flight was in mid-April. The big chunk of our income comes from a flying allowance. And then also because of the this economic downturn, this pandemic, airlines have to restructure and they need to cut costs.
Right.
So our salaries been reduced, and some of it, even unfortunate ones, been retrenched. So I'm thankfully that I'm not retrenched, but now basically we are asked to take unpaid leave.
Right.
But all this, like same thing, like luckily with the involvement in Sergi from recycling, from the day when I was doing recycling at the recycle center, it made me aware and realize that so much wastage that we have. Like while doing recycling, I see that people throwing brand new stuff.
Yes.
Okay? Or used once, everything is in very good condition. So basically that gave me a self-realization on my own.
Right.
I don't simply end up buying things that I want, but just to buy things that we need. And the same thing, the awareness of turning a vegetarian to be a healthier lifestyle.
Right.
So my lifestyle has changed in a way that I'll be able to save more money and be healthier and happier. So maybe in that sense that it prepared me into this pandemic. Like now, after I got involved in Sergi, so I think doing charity work is very noble, and also it's very good for us to give back to the society when we are still healthy and able.
Oh, yeah, not when we are rich and retired.
Then I realized what Master Chang Yen said. Like, what has happened in the past, we cannot change. And we cannot predict the future. But what can we do now? Grasp the moment and seize the time. Basically what? 把握当下，把握时间。
对， that's correct. Okay, Captain, just now we talked about how this pandemic has actually affected a lot of businesses, all right, and people's livelihood. And you mentioned that you were also affected. But what advice do you have for the people out there who are affected but have not yet learned what you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, we always need to have positive outlook where will keep us optimistic and always look for the good, because we need to be adaptable in every environment and changes.
Right.
But we must not be afraid of changes, because in every crisis there is always an opportunity, provided that we are willing to work hard and to change this fact and to turn the circumstances into good. Like when I was young, I got a lot of hair. But now, less hair. So I always tell people, never mind, it's okay. 少一点发，可以得到多一点发。
Wow.
Because less hair, less obstruction, can get direct frequency straight to the head.
That's wonderful, really. You have less afflictions.
Yes, correct.
You spend less time worrying about your hair.
Correct.
And that's the wisdom that grows from having less.
Correct, and save money some more. No need to buy comb, no need to buy gel.
Wow. Thank you so much, Captain Joey.
Thank you.
For sharing all the wonderful stories and also your life experience.
Yes.
We hope to see you again.
Thank you to you. It's my honor to be here, to be invited guest.
Yes. So that is the end of our program for today on Soothing Moments. We hope everyone has enjoyed this episode, and we would like to say goodbye and see you again.
路就好走了，心暖了，事就不难了，暖心力量。